Today, the tax scam that's costing you your refund and your identity. Plus, from the world champion Golden State Warriors.
It was like everything that we'd ever wanted.
James McAdoo drives to the hoop.
It's crazy how God orchestrates all that.
With a couple detours along the way.
It's tough. It's not easy.
On today's 700 Club.
Well, welcome to the 700 Club. Who is authorizing the execution of homosexuals and nobody's talking about it? We're going to tell you later on in the program. But first of all, if we haven't already seen the dark side of politics this year, get ready for one of the ugliest presidential campaigns ever. Those big political action committees are preparing to sling the mud at both Democrats and Republicans this fall. And that's the warning from a top consultant.
Well, that comes as Donald Trump got himself into another controversy with his comments that women should be punished if they get an abortion. Caitlin Burke has the story.
Donald Trump is not one to sugarcoat things.
Do you believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no, as a principle?
The answer is that there has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form.
10 years.
I don't know. That I don't know.
The Trump campaign completely reversed course hours later, saying that the Republican frontrunner ultimately believes that it's the abortion providers, not the women getting the abortions, that should be punished. Trump's rivals shot back and shot down his comments about women being punished for abortions.
It's the latest demonstration of how little Donald has thought about any of the serious issues facing this country.
Hillary Clinton chimed in on Twitter saying, quote, "Just when you thought it couldn't get worse, horrific and telling." These latest comments aren't the only blow to Trump's campaign. Polls show his numbers falling in the next primary state. Ted Cruz now has a 10-point lead over Trump in Wisconsin, according to a new Marquette Law School poll. With the candidates vying for delegates ahead of the conventions, it's been an ugly race so far, attacking each other's wives, character, and the list goes on. Political consultant Karl Rove writes in the Wall Street Journal that big political action groups are researching Trump and Clinton for the general election, gathering dirt for future attack ads. He says they'll be going after Trump's controversial comments, his business failures and character flaws, and Clinton's history of scandals and lies, her lack of trustworthiness. Rove writes that we should all get ready for the ugliest campaign in memory. Caitlin Burke, CBN News.
Thanks, Caitlin. You know, it's interesting what Trump says. It shocks people, but at the same time, the old adage was that abortion was illegal, that it was murder. And consequently, if it's illegal and it's murder, then there had to be some penalty attached to it. That's why it was so very, very hard to get any kind of legislation against this sort of thing. And now they say, well, it should punish the provider who does the abortion, not the woman who's having it, which sounds more reasonable. But in any event, if somebody says abortion is murder, then what do you do to somebody who commits murder? I mean, so it's a dilemma that people have been wrestling with, and I'm certainly not going to get into it, but that does seem a bit draconian. But at the same time, we've slaughtered close to 50 million unborn babies in America since Roe versus Wade. It's been a slaughter that is unprecedented. And these are innocent human beings that are being slaughtered. And we had the scandal of Planned Parenthood auctioning off or selling off the various body parts of unborn babies. I mean, it makes you sick at your stomach. But these are human beings. Well, in other news, speaking of abortion, the Food and Drug Administration says the so-called abortion pill, which is very questionable, RU-848, which has been so controversial, the FDA wants to make it easier. Wendy Griffith has that story.
That's right, Pat. Women will be able to take the pill later in a pregnancy under the new FDA guidelines, and they won't need to go to the doctor for checkups as often. The new FDA label relaxes the FDA's restrictions on Mifeprex, and the FDA's move would potentially make the drug more accessible in states with tougher rules like Texas, Ohio, and North Dakota. The abortion drug was formerly known as RU-486. Well, the government of Saudi Arabia reportedly wants to impose stricter sentences, including the death penalty on gay people who demonstrate their homosexuality in public and on social media. The OK's newspaper reports that the Saudi judiciary considered 35 cases of homosexuality in the last 6 months, along with 50 cases of cross-dressers. The paper also reports that a man was arrested for making sexual advances to other men online. Pat?
Well, somebody else was displaying the rainbow flag, and he got arrested. Now, have you heard the NFL, the NBA, the Democratic Party, the Gay Lesbian Alliance, and the rest of them? Have you heard one of them say one thing against Saudi Arabia? I haven't, and I don't think you have. Has there been any condemnation of Muslims? This is a Muslim country exercising the Wahhabi brand of Islam against homosexuals. They want to execute homosexuals in Saudi Arabia. Who complains? But what do we get complaints about? North Carolina that wants to give Christians a chance to speak out about the whole issue. Georgia the governor vetoes legislation that gives free speech to Christians. Isn't it amazing that the people are so exercised about this issue in America, don't say one word about a country that wants to kill homosexuals? Can you believe that? I mean, what kind of a double standard are we dealing with? And maybe somebody ought to say to the NFL, if you're so tough, how about going after the Saudis? Wendy?
Pat, the Supreme Court seemed likely to make it possible for private landowners to challenge the government in court on protected federal wetlands. The Obama administration says that a Minnesota company is violating the Clean Water Act and demanding that property owners apply for permits. But the company is challenging the administration. They're concerned that government agencies can make property owners pay the costly price for permits without a court ever deciding whether the agency is correct. Both conservative and liberal justices were concerned that the government was putting too heavy a burden on private businesses. Do you agree, Pat?
Do I ever agree? This has been a shocking thing that's happening in our country. We are being run by agencies, non-elected federal bureaucrats laying out rules that have not been passed by Congress. Let me tell you what I'm familiar with. We bought here at CBN a tract of land which was high and dry, and it was a nice piece of land, and we wanted to build some things on it. Okay. The city has a lake, a drainage easement, and that lake empties. It shouldn't, but it was illegal. It ran across our land, and part of the land became wet. So what happens? The feds want to come in and say, well, you're dealing with a wetland. And we said, it's not wet, it's dry. You can look at the plants on it, it's dry, it's wet. We had to go to great expense to get experts in to prove that the runoff from a tiny drainage ditch that was on a dry piece of land wasn't a wetland. That's how bad it's gotten, and we know firsthand. Costs you money. We, of course, won the thing, but nevertheless, it costs money. And this is what the bureaucracy is doing to America. They're choking the free enterprise of this great nation, and it needs to be stopped. Wendy.
Pat, the Easter prayer breakfast is a White House tradition started by President Obama 6 years ago. Well, this year, he used the breakfast to encourage Christians to show the love of Christ to refugees and others affected by terrorism and war. Our Jennifer Wishon brings us that story.
As part of his Easter message, President Obama explained how his Christian faith renews him with the hope of redemption.
Because of God's love, we can proclaim Christ is risen. Because of God's love, we've been given this gift of salvation.
The president addressed the fear and division often born of terrorism, but warned Christians against the temptation to turn their backs on Syrian refugees in need of help.
That's the intent of the terrorists, is to weaken our faith, to weaken our best impulses, our better angels. If Easter means anything, it's that you don't have to be afraid. We drown out darkness with light, and we heal hatred with love, and we hold on to hope.
Reverend Dr. Raphael Warnock of Atlanta's historic Ebenezer Baptist Church delivered the sermon.
Jesus said he came to preach good news to the poor, to open the eyes of the blind, to set the captives free. And so by praying with our feet, I mean in the best of our tradition that we ought to be engaged, organized, bearing witness to God's kingdom of love and justice.
And as his presidency winds down, Mr. Obama offered a glimpse into his future.
After a good chunk of sleep when I get out of here, I'm going to be right out there with you doing some work. So you're not rid of me yet, even after we're done with the presidency, but I am going to take 3-4 months where I just sleep.
Jennifer Wishon, CBN News, the White House.
Thanks, Jennifer. Well, if you want to lose weight, beans might just help you out. Chickpeas, lentils, peas, and beans can help you feel full and get rid of those extra pounds. That's the finding from a study in Canada. One expert told Health Day News the study wasn't surprising because these foods are full of fiber, protein, vitamins, and minerals. And Pat, I know you've been a big fan of beans for a long time.
I love beans. They are good for you. They have so-called ORAC values, and black beans are up about 40,000. I mean, they're so tremendous in terms of antibodies. Look at this. This is a little pack of some kind of beans. What is it? Gobanja. These are Gobanja beans. You soak them. And it's so easy. You can store them forever. These are...
it's like lentils.
Yeah, I make lentil soup. Do you make lentils?
Oh, I love lentils. Lentils are delicious.
You chop up an onion or two, you chop up some celery, put a little bit of this, that, and the other in it, and put it in a pot with the beans. You got to soak the beans forever, and then cook them for a while, and that's delicious.
Yeah, I think that if there's an issue of why people don't do that more often, it's the soaking part. You know, you do have to soak them forever.
This is pinto beans, but you know, it's no big deal to soak these things, but if you don't want to soak them,
you
can get a can. These are kidney beans, and here's the one that see if I can get. No, these
sweet
are
peas.
Sweet, I don't know what they are, but anyhow, where's the black pea? Here we
There
go.
you go.
Yeah, these little babies, Frio Negra. These are the ones that really have the power. They have tremendous vitamins. They have tremendous.
You know, it's an inexpensive way to eat something that's healthy too. Beans are really reasonable.
Well, you fill yourself up, and you get very high protein, but you don't get all the fat and all the stuff that goes along with the meat that may clog your arteries. So I mean, it's fabulous. These are perfect food God's given us, and it's so cheap. Cheap, I like.
Every grocery store, right?
In the grocery store. All right, Terry.
Well, coming up, you filed your taxes, so why aren't you getting your refund? Well, it could be that you're a victim of a tax scam. Find out how to know for sure and how you can fight back when we return.
It's a company called LifeLock that's putting a lot of advertising out talking about identity theft, but apparently it's a big problem. If somebody steals your identity, man, they can do terrible things to you, and all they need your name and a social security number, and away they go. But the biggest issue facing American taxpayer this year might be something just exactly what it is when it comes to your tax return, identity theft. And here's how it happens.
You fill out your 2015 federal tax return, file it by the April 15th deadline, and breathe a sigh of relief. A few weeks later, though, you get a letter from the IRS saying you've already filed your tax return, that a refund was issued to you weeks ago, and your IRS account has been frozen. You've been the victim of tax return identity theft, a scam that's increased by 650% since 2008. What do you do if this happens to you? Tax expert Dan Pilla, author of How to Win Your Tax Audit, says there are steps you can take to fight back, but you have to act fast.
Well, tax expert Dan Pilla is with us right now. Dan, we're talking about this identity theft thing. How bad is it? How many tax returns are stolen identity?
Well, in terms of the number, Pat, it's hard to say, but let me put it to you this way. The Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration has called this the crime of the century.
Really?
There are so many false returns being filed with the IRS every year, and the IRS is issuing literally tens of billions of dollars worth of bogus refunds that are going to these thieves, and they don't know how many. It's so broad, they don't know exactly the number of returns that are being stolen.
They just, a phony return comes in showing all the right numbers, says, you owe me $10,000 return. So they just cut a check and send it to them.
They cut a check and send it to them. And a lot of these, Pat, are going to their electronic deposits, electronic refunds, that are going into the same bank account. One of the things that the Treasury Inspector General reported was that there was a couple $100,000 worth of refunds, a couple $1,000s at a time. So we're talking about numerous refunds all going to one bank account. So, I mean, this is a sophisticated scam that these people are running for sure.
Well, why can't the federal government, can't they do anything right?
Well, can't they do anything right? Well, you're asking the wrong guy that question, because I don't think they can do anything right, particularly when it comes to enforcing, protecting themselves. Because not only is it a problem, Pat, with identity thieves, stealing identities, Social Security numbers, and so forth in the general marketplace, but they've even managed to hack the IRS's computers. Now, we learned that a year ago that the computers were hacked, but we've only recently learned the scope of that problem. And now the Treasury Inspector General has told us that almost 1 million taxpayers' identities have been stolen from the IRS's computers.
You don't mean it. Yeah, well, you're talking about billions of dollars.
Yeah, no question about it. And of course, the tax aspects of it are just the beginning. If your identity is stolen, these thieves could get access to your bank account, your debit cards, your credit cards. Who knows where that could end. So
you put some pretty intimate financial details about yourself on your tax, and it's supposed to be strictly confidential. So you're saying they hacked in and they have the full story of each taxpayer?
Yeah, no question about it. Yeah,
That's shocking.
According to the Treasury Inspector General, there have been about 750,000 taxpayers whose information was actually heisted from the IRS's computers, and another couple 100,000 that were tampered with. And they say they didn't get all that information. But we're talking about upwards of 1 million taxpayers who were affected by this.
Whew. Multiplied times, I can't figure the math.
It's hard to wrap your head around this thing, because once they get the information from the IRS, now they can go just about anywhere with it to steal, as I said, bank accounts, credit cards, debit cards, these kinds of things. And if you're dealing with a debit card situation, for example, somebody gets your debit card number, Pat, they can clean out your bank account.
Sure.
They can just clean it right out. Not so much with credit cards. Of course, they can run up a credit card bill, but at least in that situation, you've got the right to fight back, and you still have your money.
How does somebody defend himself? How can you go out and clarify these matters? It'd take years, doesn't it?
Well, it could take years, but let me give you a couple simple steps here.
Okay.
First of all, if you believe you're a victim of identity theft, whether it's general market ID theft or your information was stolen from the IRS, all right? In either situation, you got to file with the IRS immediately what the IRS calls an identity theft affidavit. And that's IRS form 14039. I talk about it in my book, How to Win Your Tax Audit. 14039 is the form. You file that form. When you file that form, the IRS is going to give you a new taxpayer identification number, all right? It's a new one, so you won't use your Social Security number with the IRS anymore. Now you'll file with a new number. That's the first thing to do, is put the IRS on notice that there's a problem out there, and now you've got a new ID number, so at least that puts up a wall of security there. The next thing you got to do is change your bank accounts. Not necessarily your bank, but your bank accounts. Open new accounts so you're dealing with new account numbers. It's especially important to do that if you've got a debit card attached to that particular bank account, because with a debit card, they can clean it right out.
Yeah.
And then I would change your credit card numbers as well. Those three things do immediately, and that's going to minimize the risk or minimize the exposure then to the thieves.
Dan's book is one of the best known about how to win your tax audit. That's only one of the many things you talk about here.
Yeah, that's right. There are all kinds of things we talk about in this book. I take you step by step. Put it this way, Pat, this is the most thorough discussion on the tax audit procedures that's ever been written for the public. I show you step by step exactly how to deal with any tax audit situation so that you come out of it with your money in your pocket.
Does the IRS love you or hate you?
Well, I don't get Christmas cards from them, Pat. I'll put it that way.
Okay. I mean, you're showing their dirty secrets to the whole public.
Yeah. In fact, one of the chapters in the book is 13 IRS bluffs and intimidations and how to counter them. So I do tear down the system for you to show you exactly what the IRS's weaknesses are in the audit process. You know, for example, the IRS uses tactics of bluff and intimidation, misinformation and disinformation, and in many cases, they just outright lie to people concerning what their rights are and what the agency's limitations are. And I expose all that in the book.
Should somebody have a lawyer when they go talk to these people?
Well, it depends on the situation. If the IRS starts using the F word in the audit process, and by that I mean fraud, you know, if that fraud word comes up, then you absolutely better get yourself counsel right away, because fraud implications are very serious, both from a civil and a criminal standpoint. Yeah. If it's a routine garden variety audit and the IRS just simply wants you to verify certain items on your tax return, which most of the audits are, that's a simple process, Pat, if you understand what the procedure is. And what I teach you in the book is exactly what your responsibility is as a taxpayer. See, and this is important because people don't know what they're supposed to do in the audit. And the key thing with respect to that is the burden of proof. Mm-hmm. And see, the burden of proof is on the taxpayer. And this is different from every other area of law in the United States where the burden of proof is on the government, right? In a tax audit situation, the IRS never has to prove, I shouldn't say never, they rarely have to prove that you did it wrong. You have to prove you did it right. And so what the book does is it takes you step by step through the process of how to do exactly that when it comes to your income and your deductions.
One last thing, we've seen the scandal of Lois Lerner, took the fifth, she did all kinds of bad things, and has gotten away scot-free. It looks like the head of the IRS is kind of out to lunch. Well, what do we do?
It's interesting that you talk about Lois Lerner taking the Fifth Amendment on the tax return. You know, for years, tax protesters were filing tax returns and they'd claim the Fifth Amendment on the tax return. Yeah. And they would argue that the Fifth Amendment prevented them from having to give any information to the government. And if it applies in a court case, it certainly must apply on a tax return. Well, guess what? Those people were prosecuted, Pat, for failure to file tax returns. They were prosecuted. And yet Lois Lerner walks away.
It's a double standard. Well, Dan has written a book here, ladies and gentlemen. It's as good as there is in the whole nation. And if you're getting ready to file your taxes, it wouldn't hurt to get this book. It's called How to Win. How do they get it?
Yeah, the best way to get it is right from cbnnews.com. Okay. cbnnews.com, your website. All right. There's links on your website to get the book, and I think your organization, well, I know your organization has got a package available for folks, so they go right to your website, cbnnews.com, and they can get it there.
How to Win Your Tax Audit, Dan Pilla. It's fabulous. Okay, Dan, God bless you. Thank you so much for having me. All right, Terry, what's next?
Well, coming up, the NBA rookie who went from being cut by his team to helping them cut down the nets. James McAdoo of the Golden State Warriors talks about his unlikely journey through the NBA when we come back.
You're watching the 700 Club. Sports. After last night's win against the Jazz, the Golden State Warriors are on the cusp of finishing the season with the best record in NBA history. And while the attention is on the stars such as Steph Curry, Golden State's role players have shined as well. Sean Brown sat down with Warriors power forward James McAdoo.
For the second consecutive year, the Golden State Warriors have become the team to beat in the NBA. And forward James McAdoo, also known as J-Mac, says a big reason is because of the way the team gels outside of basketball.
You know, going into this year and, you know, having experienced the success that we've had this year, I can honestly say it's because of, you know, off the court, you know, we're like brothers, you know, and it translates to on the court. And like you said, we have such a close, you know, knit of believers on this team. I've been able to start a Bible study on this team. Guys, you know, we're on the road. You know, we stay together. You know, we go before the Lord, and we're just thankful, you know, because we know that, you know, this opportunity that we have, it's not something that comes along every day.
James became a Christian at an early age. Though he came from a long line of great basketball players, he says he didn't want his identity to come solely from basketball.
You know, the biggest thing for me is just always realizing that no matter what, my faith in God is how I want to be identified.
After James graduated from Norfolk Christian High School in Virginia, he went on to play for the University of North Carolina with dreams of leading his team to the Final Four, a national championship, and going into the NBA. But he decided to cut his college career short after his junior year.
You play 3 seasons, you opt out of your senior year, you decide, you know, I'm going to forego my senior year, enter the NBA draft. But then you're not drafted. How did that affect you?
It was tough. Honestly, I can tell you when I look back, leaving the University of North Carolina after my junior year was a pretty selfish decision. And obviously, after I didn't get drafted, you know, I can tell you I wasn't surprised. You know.
Maybe not surprised, but he was disappointed and embarrassed.
It all came out, you know, on ESPN live television that, you know, I went undrafted, this guy that was, you know, this top recruit coming out. And, you know, it pretty much was a pretty tough pill to swallow.
Just after the draft, while at home in Norfolk, James received a call from his agent.
Obviously, I get a phone call from my agent, and he's basically saying, like, obviously, this is how we saw this night going, you know, but, you know, we have opportunities on the table for Summer League. So now I'm like, okay, this is what it's going to look like. Obviously, I would have to go to Summer League, perform well enough there to earn a training camp invite.
After showing off his skill in the NBA Summer League, James got an invite to attend the Golden State Warriors training camp. But there was one caveat. If he didn't make the team, he'd be sent down to the D-League, the minors of the NBA. For a lot of NBA prospects, that is the end of the road.
I've heard some pretty horror stories about the D-League, you know. It's a tough lifestyle.
While in training camp, James began to seek God in prayer.
So I'm going through training camp, and honestly, I'm praying the hardest I think I've ever prayed in my life. I'm asking God, please let me make this team. I've already experienced failure once with the draft. You know, it comes down to the final day of cuts. I get that call. My agent's like, you know what, I'm gonna release you. Talk about just, you know, heartbreak again. Now I gotta go down to the D-League.
But he wasn't there for long when he got a call from his agent. The Warriors were giving him another shot.
And my agent calls me, he's like, hey, you know, they're gonna call you up for your first 10-day contract. You get 2 10-day contracts before they have to sign you for the rest of the year.
James completed both 10-day contracts and was called up to the Warriors just in time to join their playoff run towards winning the 2015 NBA championship.
What is God saying to you? Is it like a big God wink, like, yeah, I told you?
Yeah.
I mean, what's he telling you?
Honestly, one of those things where, you know, God just tells you, you know, like, I got you. Don't worry.
Today, as the Warriors fight towards their 2nd consecutive NBA title, James says even with all his success, don't get it twisted. He's playing for the Lord.
You know, it's easy for me to say, you know, being an NBA basketball player, but I can tell you, money doesn't make you happy. Fame doesn't make you happy. Nothing in this world can make you happy. You know, I could lose everything today, and honestly, I can tell you, I would still praise my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. It's tough. It's not easy. Every day, it's a tough thing to do to, you know, really be sold out for the Lord, but it's worth it. I promise you, it's worth it.
What a testimony. God bless him. I'm glad, and they're just riding high, like they may have the most sterling record in NBA history. It's fabulous.
Yeah, it really is. It just
Golden
makes me
State Warriors, huh?
think of that phrase, remember whose you are.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
that you have a father who's more interested in hanging on to you than your fame.
And you are him.
Yeah,
Oh,
wow.
Wonderful.
Great story. Great
Yeah,
story.
okay.
Well, still ahead, he may not have remembered what happened after he went to a concert, but the police sure did.
The next thing I remember is I'm handcuffed to a gurney with EKG leads all over my chest. Turns out I tried to steal a cab.
See why what happened next is seared into his memory when we return.
And welcome back to the 700 Club. Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe has vetoed a religious exemption bill. That measure would have protected the rights of people who have a religious objection to being involved in same-sex weddings. McAuliffe, a Democrat, claims the measure would legalize discrimination against the LGBT community and hurt the state's economy. Republican supporters say it would have protected people expressing their sincerely held religious beliefs. A tornado struck Oklahoma last night, leaving many homes damaged and 7 people severely injured. One tornado touched down multiple times as it ripped through Tulsa and Owasso, leaving those 7 people in serious condition. The storm also brought heavy rain and flooding to nearly 9 million people in parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and Arkansas. Arkansas was one of the worst hit states, with a group of people needing to be rescued from raging floodwaters. Look at that. The state was racked by flash flooding and power outages. And you can always get the latest from CBN News by going to our website at cbnnews.com. Pat and Terry will be back with more of the 700 Club right after this.
Joe Downs had quite the rap sheet. Destruction of property, possession of drugs, criminal trespass. The courts had enough on him to lock him away for 20 years. But here's the kicker. Joe had no idea he committed those crimes. The only thing he knew was that he was guilty.
I was at a widespread panic concert and had consumed a large amount of LSD. The cops came, arrested me. I get put on cell block in Fulton County Jail as a 22-year-old kid. And during this period of time, I start going into withdrawals.
Growing up, no one would have guessed that Joe Downs would ever end up in jail.
I was raised by a very Christian mother, raised going to a Baptist church pretty much anytime the doors were open. My father was not a Christian. He wasn't adversarial against Christians. He might go on Easter and he might go on, Christmas.
Although he was saved at a young age, Joe started walking away from God in junior high.
I started drinking. I started smoking, started experimenting with drugs. I got into the bad areas of my life mostly because of the crowd I was running with. All the other guys around were doing it, so I did. Throughout high school, everything intensified. All the drinking, all the smoking, all the drug use, all the experimentation just got worse.
He was good at hiding his drug use and still graduated high school with honors. In the fall, Joe left for the freedom of college.
And that's where my drug use really took off. My freshman year in college, the campus searched my room and found all kinds of marijuana, all kinds of scales, all kinds of pipes and bongs. I was given a slap on the wrist and put on social probation, and that was it. That following summer, I got caught living in the girls' dorm. They didn't want to kick me out, but they kicked me off campus, which allowed me to get an apartment. That was exactly what I wanted, because then I could operate with impunity.
From marijuana to acid to prescription pills, Joe used and sold it all. Then, his lifestyle caught up to him.
It was December 29th of 1998. I was at a widespread panic concert in Atlanta. I'd spent all afternoon in the parking lot selling ecstasy. I had a large sum of cash on me, had a lot of drugs on me, and had consumed a large amount of LSD. I remember walking into the show. I don't remember leaving the show. The next thing I remember is I'm handcuffed to a gurney at Grady Memorial Hospital in downtown Atlanta with EKG leads all over my chest. Turns out I tried to steal a cab. The cops came, arrested me. I had a knife on me, had a switchblade on me that I was wielding at the time. I resisted arrest. According to the cops, they very well could have shot me and killed me with just cause. After getting released from Grady Memorial, they sent me to the Fulton County Jail. I get put on cell block in Fulton County Jail as a 22-year-old kid. And during this period of time, I start going into withdrawals. I was charged with possession of controlled substance with intent to distribute, possession of marijuana, possession of paraphernalia, assault with a deadly weapon, criminal trespass, and destruction of property. Called my dad, and he proceeded to get a bunch of money together and come over to bail me out. He looks at me and says, "This is your one and only shot. If I were to get arrested again, I'd be on my own."
Joe entered a rehab program, and although it wasn't biblically based, something clicked from his childhood days in church.
Coming to realize, hey, these 12 steps aren't really foreign principles to me. But what really accelerated that was when a good friend of mine, consistently invited me back to his church.
The church met in a converted bar of all places. It was there that Joe was challenged to read the whole Bible.
And I did it over the course of a year. And then I did it over the next year. And then I did it over the next year. And it was just one baby step after another led to one thing after another after another. And once I started putting in the work, I started realizing that it wasn't God who moved away, it was me that had moved away from God. My case finally came up in May of 2000, which is 17 months after I was arrested. And the reason why it took so long for it to get called is because all of the drug evidence that they had on me disappeared. They had the evidence slip where it was checked into the evidence locker, but all the drugs, all the paraphernalia, and all the cash walked out of the evidence locker, and they could not indict me because they could not produce evidence. I'll sit here and tell you I was guilty as sin, but God chose for me not to have to face punishment for that. If I'd been convicted of all the charges, I think I would have faced 15 or 20 years. I was able to plead as a first-time offender to an assault charge and make restitution to the cab company. And as soon as I made restitution, my sentence was suspended. And since I pled guilty as a first-time offender in Georgia, my record was expunged as soon as the sentence was suspended. You can never do something so bad that God won't take you back. Doesn't matter how low you've sunk, doesn't matter what you consider the depths of your depravity, doesn't matter how bad you think you've been, your loving Father's waiting to wrap his arms around you. Looking back on my life, there's no doubt that God was there the entire time. There's so many things that I did or was part of that should have either incarcerated me for a good part of my life or should have killed me. And I'm still sitting here is all the proof I ever need to know that God was there. I feel like I was welcomed back in by the loving Father God. He was there and wrapped his arms around me.
It all starts so innocently, doesn't it? The other kids in school that you're hanging around with start taking this drug or doing that drug, and so you start too. And nobody ever goes into that saying, gee, I think I'm going to become an addict. Everybody always feels like they can control it. And I think one of the things that's hardest to grab hold of when you're young is that every choice you make has a consequence, good or bad. But as I listened to Joe's story, I thought of that saying, you've heard it on this program before, sin will take you further than you ever thought you'd go. It'll cost you more than you ever thought you'd pay, and it'll keep you longer than you ever thought you'd stay. He could have lost his life. He could have lost every opportunity. He could not be here today had things worked out differently. He was being watched over by a Heavenly Father, and I can assure you that godly mother that raised him was praying for this guy when he was young and going through all of this. Here's the thing, when we're looking for who we are, when we're trying to figure out what life is about and why do we matter, why doesn't it seem like the most logical place to go would be the person who created you, the being who said, you are mine? God waits for us to do that. He wants to be known by us. Of all the faith in the world, all the faiths in the world, we are the only faith where God comes after us. He comes looking for us. The Bible says he leaves 99, he's the good shepherd, he leaves 99 sheep who are already with him and his and in the safe corral to go after the one who's lost. And that was surely true of Joe, wasn't it? So I ask you today, are you lost? Are you wondering in your own life, why am I here? Who am I? What does it all matter? I want to encourage you to come to Jesus and say, I want to know you. I want to know you. You see, he's the creator. He's the one who put the stars in the sky, knows them by name, not only created the beauty around us, but gave us senses to be able to appreciate and enjoy everything that he created. He loves you with an everlasting love, the Bible says. He knows everything about you and me, and he loves us anyway. Knows the number of hairs on your head, knows what you're thinking now, what you're going to do tomorrow. He's in your tomorrow already. He is not bound by time like we are. But here's what he is bound by. When you and I decide we're going to do our own thing, go our own way, he wants us to love him because we choose to. He's not a taskmaster who's going to force us into anything. He says, come. All you who are weary and heavy laden, come to me. I want to give you rest. I want to give you what you need to know who you are, to live successfully, and then I want to give you the free gift of forgiveness and eternity. I want you to spend all of your life, all of your time, all of your eternity with me. So will you say yes to that today? There's nowhere else you can go to get rid of the guilt and the shame of the things that you've done. Same for me, same for all of us. Ask Jesus to be the Lord of your life as well as the Savior of your soul today. If you'd like someone to pray with, we have someone on the other end of a phone line who's already prayed that prayer, and they're sitting there right now because they care about you and they'd love to pray with you. You don't even have to say who you are. Just call 1-800-759-0700 and say, I'd like to ask Christ into my heart, into my life. We've got a great packet Pat's put together just for you. It's free. It's called A New Day. After you pray that prayer, what do? How do you grow in your faith? How do you move forward? This is yours when you ask for it. So when you call, say, I'd like to pray that prayer and I'd like the New Day packet. We'll get it out to you right away. Pat?
Thanks, Terry. Well, coming up, it's time to bring it on with questions from our viewers. Charles says, quote, my wife cheated on me and then left me for the other man. I feel like the Lord has told me our marriage will be restored. What do I do? Ooh, we'll answer that one after the break.
Can you imagine your children coming to you and crying, I'm hungry, and you have absolutely nothing to give them? Well, that's what the mother in our next story was facing after she lost her only source of income.
As a single mother raising 2 children, Natividad panicked the day her sewing machine broke.
I was sewing, and suddenly my machine made a terrible sound. And then it did not work anymore. I fell down and hugged the table and the sewing machine, and I cried.
Sewing has been Natividad's only source of income for the past 8 years. Money from her business meant they would have food and electricity. Now, all of that was in jeopardy.
When your children say, I'm hungry, and you have nothing to give them, that is the worst. I began to cry. My children looked at me. My youngest said, don't cry, Mommy. God will provide.
Then Natividad developed a severe pain in her side. Unfortunately, there was no money for a doctor or medicine.
She couldn't walk. She couldn't do anything. So I sat on her bed and prayed. I asked God to take care of my mom.
When Operation Blessing met the family, we provided emergency medical treatment for Natividad's infection. Then we gave them enough food to last for 2 months while she recovered. Finally, we gave Natividad a new sewing machine. We also gave her cloth and thread and everything needed to restart her sewing business.
Now I'm tailoring and selling. I have orders and we already have a good income. This is great. This is a miracle.
Thank you, Operation Blessing, for helping my mom to get better and for the new sewing machine.
Natividad's story is like so many, a hard-working woman providing a loan for 2 children. Life happens. You know, it happens in your life and mine too, but we don't live in the kind of desperate circumstances that so much of the world does. That's one of the reasons we ask you to join the 700 Club, because it's your kindness and compassion and generosity that allow us to make this kind of a difference in the lives of Natividad and others like her in many parts of the world. It's 65 cents a day, $20 a month to join the 700 Club. But when you join, you're going to be joining with thousands of us who are out to make an impact, to make a difference, to touch and change the lives of people in need. So will you call now? Our number is toll free. It's 1-800-759-0700. Just call and say, I want to join the 700 Club. When you do, our way of saying thank you for caring about other people is to send you Pat's latest DVD. It's called Heaven, What God Has Prepared for Those Who Love Him. And some of the things you just saw on that last commercial ad are on here. All of the things that we talked about, really. People who've died, had experiences going to heaven, and then have been resuscitated and come back again. It's amazing. You'll be inspired, and we want you to have it. We want you to be encouraged in your own faith. So call right now. There's the number, and you'll have the satisfaction of knowing you're making a difference as soon as you call. Time for email. You ready?
Hit it. Go for it.
Okay, this is Charles, who says, I just got honorably discharged from the Army after 12 years. My wife left me after over 8 years of marriage, committing adultery, getting pregnant, and moving our 6-year-old son in with her and this man. They justify this with my past anger issues, which I got help for. Now they take my son to church with them. I've received a word from God about our marriage being restored on more than one occasion, and have been fasting and praying for months, still supporting our son and her. My son stands in faith with me and detests this guy. What can I do?
I'm not sure you've heard from God about this. Your wife is not exactly, a model of fidelity. She's committed adultery and living with another guy. But what I do think you deserve is visitation rights with your child, so you ought to bring that to court and get legal concern and control over your son. But beyond that, I think you ought to let her go. I think she's, of course, the Bible has an example of somebody who had a wife who was in prostitution, and he kept taking her back. And so you could tell your wife, I'll take you back, but I'm not going to give you but one chance, and this is it. And if she doesn't want to do it, well, that's all right. Okay.
This is Trinity, who says, I'm an 11-year-old who screams at my parents. I want to be a good kid. I just feel violent sometimes. I try to harm myself. I need some help. Can you pray for me, and what can I do?
Well, I think what you need to do, frankly, is to ask your parents, you've got a condition that probably takes a psychiatrist with knowledge of hormones and so forth. Your hormones are raging, they're out of control. As you get older, things might settle down, but I know you don't know what to do because you're out of control. And I'm surprised your parents already haven't gotten professional help, because of the big thing now, they just slip a kid Ritalin and quiet him down, and that's not what needs to do. But it isn't just emotional that's wrong. There's your whole mental and physiological system is out of control, and you need help professionally. And you say, of course, we'll pray with you, but I do think you need to ask, and any parents listening to me, a Christian psychiatrist who is well versed in pharmacology to get this thing under control. All right.
Okay, this is Jean, who says, is it okay as a Christian to sue a doctor for medical malpractice if a life has been majorly altered?
The answer is yes, and I'll tell you why. These doctors all have malpractice insurance, and the insurance is set up for people who doctors injure by mistake or what have you. So the idea of suing, what will happen is the insurance company will write a check and it'll help. So, I mean, that's part of our system, and I don't think there's anything wrong. Just don't have hatred in your heart against the doctor.
Okay, this is Tori, who says, I'm scared to walk out of my bedroom. I always feel like I'm being watched. Is there any way I can get that thought out of my head? I want to feel safe.
Perfect love casts out fear. Fear is torment. You need to get wrapped up in the love of God. And you need to get into the presence of God and stop thinking about yourself. You obviously are thinking about yourself. You're afraid that something's going to happen to you. So if you focus on Jesus and say, I'm going to focus on him and praise him, I'm going to receive the answer. Well, we leave you with today's Power Minute, taken from Psalm 34. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the one who takes refuge in him. Well, tomorrow we're going to take you on a behind-the-scenes tour of God's Not Dead 2. That's Friday on the 700 Club. So for Terry and Wendy and all of us, this is Pat Robertson. Thank you so much for being with us. And the 700 Club will be on at the same time tomorrow. Don't miss it. Bye-bye.